What's going on, guys, and welcome back into Breaking Boards. In today's episode, we're going to cover my top 5 stacks for week number 7 over on DraftKings. We have a 10-game slate coming up this weekend and can't wait to jump into my top 5 stacks with you guys and break it down before we head into Sunday. Before we do, on your screen, you'll see a QR code. If you are interested in additional DFS content, scan that QR code or check the link that I'll put down in the description of this video. It will take you over to my site, breakingboardsdfs.com. There you will see an article that has listed 3 separate tiers and the information that it will be included in each tier. Those are monthly prices. I feel like I have put in plenty of hours, even on the $10 tier. So we're not looking to break the bank. We just want to get you guys to a point where you can build better lineups each weekend on DraftKings. So if you would please go check those out. Every plan is on a 7-day trial. So if you want to come in, check it out, stick around, that would be awesome. If you come in, you check it out, you don't like it, whatever the case is, you can head out, cancel at any time, no problem whatsoever. But without that shameless plug or with it out of the way, let's jump into the breakdown for Sunday's main slate on DraftKings. The first stack we're going to look at is going to be Justin Herbert, taking on an Indy team here that's been pretty decent to start off this season against the quarterback position, but they've allowed the 4th most fantasy points per game to the wide receiver spot. And you also have a pass catching back now taking the lead here for Los Angeles in Kamani Vidal. He did see 4 targets last week, nothing crazy through the air, but they were feeding him on the ground as well. So he put up 124. You can include him in the stack if you would like. In my opinion, a bit too cheap here at 5,500. But I'm going to look mostly at these 3 guys here: Ladd McConkey, Quentin Johnston, and Keenan Allen. Keenan Allen started off this year pretty solid, right? But then kind of fell off over the last few weeks. Could be age, right? He's a little bit older. Could be that that's catching up with him and slowing him down just a bit. Or it could just be that he's being worked out of the offense for the younger players, as Quentin Johnston has busted onto the scene this year. Had some really great starts. Been a little bit banged up over the last couple of weeks, which could be cutting back on his usage. He was limited at practice on Wednesday with a hamstring. So typically don't like messing with soft tissue injuries, but this is the second week that he's been limited in practice, and he did sit out last week. So I'd imagine that his hamstring is back to 70, 80% health at this point. My favorite stack option here would be Ladd McConkey. I think you can go skinny stack with Herbert McConkey if you would like, or you can include Johnston or Keenan Allen, or you could go with Ladd and Kamani Vidal that we talked about earlier. You could also look to get in a kind of middle of the pack matchup here. You could get Oronde Gaston. Saw 8 targets last week with Quentin Johnston out. I don't expect 8 targets here, but if he got 5 and found his way into the end zone at 3,300, that's not bad at all. So my primary stack would be a skinny stack with Ladd McConkey. You can include Oronde Gadsden, Keenan Allen, Quentin Johnston, or Kamani Vidal as secondary options to the stack if you would like. As far as bringbacks on the other side, I think it's pretty obvious that if I'm stacking the passing game for Los Angeles, I think you could just get to Jonathan Taylor, who is still, in my opinion, underpriced. I think he should be like 9,800, pushing 10 grand. He's just been a monster this season to start things off, and he's actually getting targets through the air as well. So where in previous seasons he would have been game flowed out of the stack if Indy was trailing, in this particular mode of Jonathan Taylor, he is not going to be benched regardless. So he will be on the field quite a bit for Indianapolis. So I don't mind pairing him alongside my Los Angeles stacks. And next up, stack number 2 for us is going to be from the Dallas-Washington game. We're going to look at the Dallas Cowboys QB, Dak Prescott. You can include Javonte Williams if you would like. Saw 8 targets. He's seen 7 targets. So he is worked in the passing game. Not the best matchup against Washington on the ground, but you can mix him in your Dak stacks if you would like. But we're going to look at these 2 guys here. We're going to look at CeeDee Lamb and George Pickens. Without Lamb in the lineup over the last couple of weeks, man, I mean, Pickens has just gone wild. Lamb looks like he's going to get back to being on the field this week, so won't hesitate from getting Lamb in the lineup. Excuse me. Sorry about that. Won't hesitate from getting Pickens in the lineup at all. But I would predominantly pick one of these two guys. I think for the sake of this video, we're going to look at getting CeeDee Lamb in there at 7,500. I just think that's, with Lamb off the field, that $7,300 price tag probably fits Pickens. With Lamb back in the lineup, I'm not so sure that 7,500 and 7,300 are the appropriate prices for these guys. In that, I expect Lamb to see more work. So I would go skinny stack Prescott Lamb. If you want to include a second option, you could go with Javonte Williams, you could go with George Pickens, or you could go with Jake Ferguson. A bit priced up here for me for Ferguson, given that Lamb is back in the lineup. So I would probably just skinny stack here. There are bring back options on the other side. If you are looking to bring it back on the other side, you could look at Bill Krosky Merritt at $6,100 against the Cowboys defense that has been gashed on the ground and through the air from opposing running backs. You could also consider McNichols to a lesser extent. And then if one of these two guys is out, if Debo's out, I would consider Terry. If Terry's out, I would consider Debo. But that would be my stack for the Dallas side. Stack number 3 is going to actually be from the other side of this game. Pretty popular stack this week would be Jaden Daniels. I actually don't mind pairing him with either of those running backs. For the sake of this video, we'll go across Krosky Merritt. And then again, it's just whichever one of these guys is healthy. If both are healthy, they get downgraded just a bit. If both are healthy, I lean Terry McLaurin. And that's what we're going to look at in this video. I would do Daniels, Krosky Merritt, and McLaurin, and then run it back on the other side with CD or George Pickens. If you want to take Krosky Merritt out of that lineup and out of those stacks, you could run skinny Jaden, Terry McLaurin, and run it back with Javonte Williams on the other side if you would like. But that would be stack number 3 would be from the Washington Commanders. Stack number 4 is actually going to be from the Chicago game. As we scroll back across here, we're going to look at getting to some Caleb Williams stacks. We're actually going to double stack in this spot. I don't like including DeAndre Swift, but I would include Rome Odunze, and you can include Luther Burden. If you don't want to get to Luther Burden, and I do want to mention the caveat that DJ Moore went to the hospital on Monday with a pretty significant injury that I don't really want to get into much on this video. But if you want to go Google testicular torsion, I think you'll understand why I'm a little lower on DJ Moore for week number 7. So I would look to get Luther Burden. I think he's going to be, he dominated earlier this year, 22.8 with just 3 targets. Caught a bomb, 65 yards. I mean, they could really open the playbook here against a New Orleans team that's been kind of trash against receivers. They're in the top half of the league as far as points allowed to the wide receiver position. So don't mind getting Burden in there. If you don't feel like getting Burden in that lineup, you could go with Cole Kmet or Colston Loveland. Kmet is out snapping Loveland pretty decently to start the season, but I don't mind getting either one of those guys in there as a cheap option. On the other side, if you want to run it back, you can run it back with either. Kamara's banged up. If you want to get there, you can. He's not looked great to start the season, but I would go with Rashid Shaheed. I do really like, if Odunze comes in and he is super popular, I actually don't mind in getting to a Rashid Shaheed and Luther Burden stack here. You're just playing for a shootout. You're playing for bombs in this game, right? Rashid Shaheed caught 87-yard pass. I mean, you got Burden, what was it, a 65-yard pass? Yeah, 65 yards earlier this year. So if this game pops off, these guys could really be at the forefront. Also, don't mind including Odunze in that and just hoping this game plays to a higher score. Check the weather here. Not sure how accurate that is, given that it is Thursday when I'm recording this video. But that would be stack number 4, would be from the Caleb Williams side. And then stack number 5 for me is going to be getting a little bit off the board here and looking over at Denver. You have Bo Nix, and you can skinny or double stack. My preferred stack would be Cortland Sutton. If you want to add a second option, you could go J.K. Dobbins, R.J. Harvey, Troy Franklin, Marvin Mims. Don't mind any of those guys. I'll predominantly go Knicks Sutton, and then I would run it back on the other side with the crazy man, Cam Scatabo at 6,500. Don't love the price, but the matchup's not bad for pass catching backs against Denver. Denver has limited opposing running backs on the ground, but Denver does give up quite a bit through the air. And that's actually going to do it for the top 5 stacks for week number 7. If you get something out of this content, drop a like on the video, subscribe to the channel. Again, if you are interested in additional content and to break it down a little bit further for you guys, I typically put up my showdown breakdown. Excuse me, getting over being sick a little bit, so apologies for coughing, but put up my showdown breakdown with some other content in the rookie tier. If you play a showdown, it's a good article to read. It should set you up for building decent lineups. In the pro tier, I give my full projection sheet for showdown. A really cool article sheet that is basically everything you need for showdown, in my opinion. So we're talking about $19.99 for 4 weeks of that. There are some additional content in each one of those packages. So again, scan the QR code if you want to. Click the link below. Go check it out. There's also a Hall of Fame tier, which I think is just everything you need, showdown and main slate. So if you want to go check those out, I would be severely grateful for you guys, and it allows me to keep doing what I'm doing on the channel and putting out videos here for you guys. Again, I appreciate you guys being here. Hopefully you check out the site. Hopefully you leave a like and a comment letting me know who your favorite stack for this week is. And hopefully you take down something huge on Sunday. Appreciate you guys being here, and we'll see you in the next video.